Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, I am Naman, a senior DevOps and cloud consultant, and on this channel, I share software architecture patterns, cloud solutions, and best practices. In today's video, we will be talking about AWS CloudFront, specifically how regional edge caches and origin shield can enhance your content delivery strategy. So if you want to optimize your website or app's performance while reducing load on your origin server, this video is for you. Before we dive into the details, let's quickly recap what AWS CloudFront is. AWS CloudFront is Amazon's content delivery network that securely delivers content, whether it's static like images or dynamic like API responses, to users around the globe with low latency and high transfer speeds. It does this by caching content at edge locations, servers strategically placed close to end users. Now CloudFront employs a multi-layered caching strategy, and this is where things get interesting. The first layer is the edge locations. When a user requests content, CloudFront routes the request to the nearest edge location. If the content is cached there, it's delivered immediately, making the experience fast and seamless for the user. But what happens if the content isn't in the edge location? Well, this is where regional edge caches come into play. These are a second layer of caching that sits between the edge locations and your origin server. Regional caches have large storage and hold content for longer periods compared to edge locations. So they serve as backup caches when content expires from the edge. If there is a cache miss at the edge location, CloudFront will check the regional edge cache next. Let's break this down step by step. Here's what happens. First, the user requests content from your website or app. The DNS then routes the request to the nearest CloudFront edge location. If the content is cached at the edge, CloudFront delivers it right away. If not, CloudFront checks the regional edge cache. If the content is there, it gets sent to the edge location, which then delivers it to the user. And if it's not in the regional cache either, well, now CloudFront retrieves it directly from the origin server. Whether that's an S3 bucket, an EC2 instance, or another server. This hierarchical caching system means that even if content isn't in the edge cache, it's still likely in the regional cache, reducing the need to go all the way back to the origin and saving on latency. It's a win-win for performance and resource efficiency. Now let's take it one step further with Origin Shield. This is an additional layer of caching that sits between the regional edge caches and your origin server. When enabled, Origin Shield consolidates requests for the same object into a single request, reducing the number of direct fetches from the origin. Here's how it works. If an edge location or a regional cache doesn't have the requested content, instead of multiple edge locations bombarding your origin server with separate requests, Origin Shield steps in and consolidates those into one request. If the Origin Shield already has the content, it serves it to the edge location, completely bypassing the origin server. If the Origin Shield doesn't have it, it fetches the content from the origin, caches it, and serves it to all the edge locations that requested it. This reduces not only the load on your origin server, but also improves cache efficiency across your entire distribution. Now let's talk about keeping your content up to date. CloudFront supports cache invalidation, which lets you manually remove outdated content from the edge locations or regional caches. Each distribution supports up to 3,000 invalidation requests at once. But it's best practice to use versioning instead of frequent invalidations. Versioning involves updating the object's file name or URL whenever the content changes. This way, users get the latest content automatically without invalidating the entire cache. So why should we care about regional edge caches and origin shield? Here are few key benefits. First, it offers reduced latency. By keeping content in caches closer to the users, we minimize the need to go back to the origin, which is especially useful if our origin server is geographically far from our users. Second, it offers improved cache hit ratios. With Origin Shield, we improve our cache hit ratios because content requests are centralized, which means that less back and forth with our origin. Last but not least, lower origin load. Fewer requests to our origin server translates into reduced server load, which can significantly cut down on costs, especially during high traffic periods. You might be wondering, when should we use Origin Shield? It's particularly useful in high traffic scenarios like Black Friday sales or global live streaming events, where consolidating origin requests can make a big difference. It's also great when your origin server is located far from the majority of your users, like when your app is globally distributed but your origin is in a single region. While Origin Shield is a powerful tool, it does come with additional costs. These include charges for requests to Origin Shield and data transfer from Origin Shield to the edge locations. But the performance gains and reduced origin load usually outweigh the cost, especially for high traffic applications. So that's a wrap on AWS CloudFront's regional edge caches and Origin Shield. By using this multi-layer caching strategy, we can significantly reduce latency, lower the load on our origin server, and improve the overall user experience. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content on cloud architecture and DevOps best practices. Let me know in the comments if you have used CloudFront's Origin Shield or regional edge caches in your projects and what kind of performance gains you have seen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.